Attention passionate Baltimore, Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens. Path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand, with all the details, context, and analysis you need to understand just how significant this potential move could be. But before we delve deeper, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Baltimore RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news. Now, Ravens fans, get ready because this is one of those stories that could really shake things up in the AFC North and honestly across the entire league. Rumors are swirling about a potential blockbuster trade involving Arizona Cardinals defensive end Josh Sweat. And if it goes through, it could be a game changer for Baltimore's defense. The buzz is that the Ravens are in serious talks to acquire Sweat in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026. And this isn't just idle chatter. Sources close to the league suggest that the deal might be on the verge of being finalized, although nothing is official just yet. But if it happens, it's going to send shockwaves through the division, and Ravens fans, you know what that means. More pressure, more sacks, and a defense that's just a little more unstoppable. Let's break down why this move is so significant, not just for the immediate impact, but for the long-term outlook of the franchise. First off, Sweat is a 28-year-old edge rusher with a career that's been steadily climbing. Standing tall at 6'5", and weighing about 265 pounds, he's got blazing speed, a 4.53-second 40-yard dash, which makes him a nightmare for tackles trying to contain him. In 2025, he played 14 games, racking up 5 sacks, 42 tackles including 28 solo stops, 3 forced fumbles, and 4 pass deflections. His PFF grade of 82.9 ranks him among the top 15 edge rushers league-wide, and he's a player who can really turn a game on its head with his burst and bend around the edge. His pressure numbers are impressive: 68 pressures, 18 QB hits, and a win rate of 23%. Those are the kinds of stats that make offenses have nightmares. This isn't just a flash in the pan either. Sweat has been a consistent producer over his career, which spans 8 seasons. He's accumulated 48, 5 sacks, and nearly 200 tackles, with a knack for getting to the quarterback in clutch moments. His ability to generate pressure, an EPA per sack of -0.28, means that when he's rushing the QB, the play often ends in the offense's failure. And while he had a slightly injury-plagued 2025, twisting his ankle in Week 4 and missing 3 games, he bounced back strongly in November with 4 sacks after returning. The tape shows a player who's burst from 2.7 seconds to the QB combined with his bend and acceleration makes him a lethal weapon on third down and obvious passing situations. His burst, coupled with his ability to bend around the edge, elevates his pass rush grade on PFF to an 84.2, and he's shown a great ability to contain the run, with a run defense grade of 81. For a deep dive into Sweat's profile and impact, what makes Sweat particularly intriguing is his versatility and consistency. His pass rushing repertoire includes a variety of moves, speed rushes, inside counters, and power moves that make him unpredictable and difficult to block. His ability to bend around the edge allows him to turn the corner and collapse the pocket, forcing quarterbacks to make hurried throws or take sacks. This skill is especially valuable against mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow, who thrive on extending plays. Sweat's agility and acceleration make him an ideal fit for Baltimore's defensive scheme, which emphasizes aggressive pass rushes and creating chaos in the backfield. Beyond his raw stats, Sweat's leadership qualities and work ethic are often praised by coaches and teammates alike. His development has been steady, and he's shown an ability to improve his pass rush moves year over year. His best season to date was in 2023, when he amassed 5 sacks, solidifying his reputation as a premier edge rusher in the league. Although injuries cost him some games in 2025, his return to form in the latter part of the season demonstrated resilience and a commitment to excellence. The context of the Arizona Cardinals and their rebuild now. Why would the Cardinals even consider trading Sweat? Well, Arizona finished 5-12 last year, and the team is clearly in a rebuild mode. Their defense was leaking points, allowing around 30 points per game in 2025, and they're prioritizing future investments. The Cardinals are also trying to free up cap space, with Sweat's hefty $25 million annual salary weighing on their books. Moving him could free up around $32 million in cap space, which they desperately need to address other areas, especially the offensive line and young wide receivers. The team is also looking to rebuild using draft capital, and with a record of 1-3 against the NFC West last year, they are clearly in a phase of retooling. Plus, with the odds of making the Super Bowl at plus 14-0 dropping to plus 18-0, it's clear they're not aiming for a quick title run, but rather a longer-term rebuild. The move aligns with the Cardinals' broader strategy of shedding veteran contracts and stacking draft picks to accelerate their rebuild. They've already amassed multiple first-round picks over the next 2 drafts, and trading Sweat for a future first would help them accelerate their rebuilding process. The Arizona front office is prioritizing building a young, fast, and versatile defense that can grow together, and shedding Sweat's contract while acquiring a first-round pick fits into that plan. While the Ravens are all in on this acquisition, this potential trade makes perfect sense for the Ravens because it addresses a key weakness: pass rush. Baltimore's defense has been solid overall, but adding Sweat would significantly boost their sack numbers, which currently sit around 45 per season. With Sweat, projections show that the Ravens could increase that total by about 8-5 sacks, pushing the team's total well over 50. More sacks mean more pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, which directly correlates with better field position, more turnovers, and ultimately more wins. Baltimore's defense has been characterized by a bend-but-don't-break philosophy, but in recent seasons, they've been looking to add more splash plays, sacks, forced turnovers, and disruptive plays. Sweat's addition would give them exactly that, creating an unstoppable front seven that can dominate the line of scrimmage. The duo of Sweat and Odafe would create a nightmare scenario for quarterbacks, with additional forced fumbles, QB hits, and sacks coming from both sides. This would also open up opportunities for interior linemen like Broderick Washington or Calais Campbell to make more plays, as the offensive line would have to dedicate extra resources to contain the edge rushers. Impact on the Ravens, defense and offense. The immediate impact on Baltimore's defense would be profound. Pressures could jump by about 70, with the EPA per rush improving from roughly minus 0.20 to around 26 or better. This means that opposing offenses would find it much harder to sustain drives, especially against the Ravens' front. The duo of Sweat and Odafe would create a nightmare scenario for quarterbacks, with additional forced fumbles, QB hits, and sacks coming from both sides. This would also open up opportunities for interior linemen like Broderick Washington or Calais Campbell to make more plays, as the offensive line would have to dedicate extra resources to contain the edge rushers. The secondary would breathe easier, knowing the QB has less time to pick apart coverage. Lamar Jackson, who's already playing at an elite level with a PFF grade of 85-1, would benefit immensely from this boost. More sacks and pressures mean more turnovers and more scoring opportunities for Baltimore's offense. The added possessions could translate into an extra 220 yards per game, which is huge in the NFL. It also creates more space for Lamar to work his magic, especially with play-action passes that have become a staple of the Ravens' attack. And with the AFC North getting tougher every year, having a dominant pass rush could be the difference between a division title and another playoff disappointment. Futures and long-term outlook looking ahead to the playoffs, the potential boost in the Ravens' chances is striking. The Super Bowl odds are currently at plus 3,000, but with Sweat in the fold, many analysts believe those odds could drop significantly, possibly to around plus 1,200 or better. The reason is simple. A ferocious pass rush can be a playoff game-changer, especially in cold-weather matchups in Baltimore. Pressures in key moments, forcing turnovers, and disrupting elite quarterbacks like Joe Burrow or Deshaun Watson could be the X-factor that propels Baltimore deep into the postseason. The Ravens have shown they can compete with anyone when they're firing on all cylinders, and adding Sweat would be a major step toward that. Moreover, the Ravens' recent draft history and team-building philosophy suggest they're not afraid to trade future assets for immediate impact players. Their front office, led by General Manager Eric DeCosta, has been aggressive in acquiring talent that can make a difference now. This trade aligns perfectly with their strategy of maximizing their Super Bowl window, especially considering Lamar Jackson's contract situation and the team's core players entering their prime years. Player breakdown and analysis. Let's take a closer look at some of the key players involved and what they bring to the table. Josh Sweat. As discussed, Sweat's combination of size, speed, and technique makes him a premier pass rusher. His ability to generate pressure on third down is invaluable, and his experience in high-pressure situations adds a layer of leadership to the Ravens' defensive front. Lamar Jackson, already an MVP-caliber quarterback, Jackson's ability to extend plays and make big throws is enhanced when he has a reliable pass rush to complement his scrambling. His PFF grade of 85. One reflects his elite performance, but his success is often linked to the overall health and pressure the offensive line and pass rush can generate. Odafe. Entering his third season, Oye showed flashes of brilliance in 2025 with 7 sacks and a high-pressure rate. Pairing him with Sweat would give Baltimore a dynamic duo on the edges, capable of overwhelming offensive tackles. Broderick Washington and Calais Campbell. These interior players are vital for anchoring the run defense and collapsing the pocket from the inside. An upgraded pass rush from the outside allows them to focus on interior pressure, making life even harder for quarterbacks. Secondary players. The likes of Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton would benefit immensely from a more aggressive front. Less time for quarterbacks to find open receivers means more picks, forced incompletions, and turnovers. Historical significance and broader league impact. Historically, the Ravens have built their identity around a stout defense, dating back to their 2000 Super Bowl winning team that featured Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and a fierce front seven. Their defense has been a cornerstone, often ranking among the league's best in points allowed, sacks, and turnovers. Adding Sweat could rekindle that legendary defensive identity, making the Ravens not just a playoff team, but a true Super Bowl contender. In the broader league context, this move could shift the balance of power. If Baltimore manages to bolster their pass rush significantly, it will make them a nightmare matchup for any team, especially in the playoffs. It could also prompt other contenders to make aggressive moves, leading to a flurry of blockbuster trades and signings as teams attempt to bolster their defenses. The AFC North, known for its physicality and tough competition, would feel the ripple effects. The Bengals and Steelers, both with strong defenses and talented quarterbacks, would face an even more formidable Baltimore team. It's conceivable that such a move might even influence the strategies of division rivals, pushing them to prioritize pass rushers and defensive front talent in upcoming drafts and free agency. Future expectations and probable scenarios. If the trade materializes, what can fans expect moving forward? Immediate impact. Expect an uptick in sacks, pressures, and turnovers. The defense would likely jump from middle of the road to top tier, especially in pass rush metrics. Playoff prospects. The Ravens' Super Bowl odds could improve from around plus 3,000 to somewhere between plus 1,200 and plus 1,500, putting them in serious contention. The team's ability to pressure quarterbacks would be crucial in cold-weather playoff matchups, where pass rushers can be game changers. Long-term strategy. The Ravens might become more aggressive in their draft and free agent pursuits, focusing on building a relentless, fast, and aggressive defense. Sweat's presence could also serve as a mentorship role for younger players like Oye and David Ajabo, cultivating a culture of relentless pursuit and high-level performance. Contract and salary cap considerations. The Ravens would need to navigate Sweat's hefty contract, but given their history of cap management, they could structure a deal that maximizes immediate impact while maintaining flexibility for future seasons. The team's salary cap situation is currently manageable, and acquiring Sweat could be viewed as an investment in their championship window. Player-specific projections and comparisons. Let's compare Sweat's projected impact with some of the league's top pass rushers. Compared to Myles Garrett, Sweat's speed and bend could see him approaching Garrett's production levels, which have been around 15-17 sacks in a season. The Ravens' defensive scheme could unlock similar numbers if he stays healthy and consistent. Against T.J. Watt, Watt's relentless motor and pass rush ability set the standard, but Sweat's size and speed make him a comparable threat. With the right scheme, Sweat could match or surpass Watt's sack totals, especially with the extra attention from offensive lines. In terms of pressure rate, Sweat's current pressure rate of 23% is on par with top-tier edge rushers like Max Crosby and Hassan Reddick, and with added opportunities, could elevate that further. Summary and final thoughts. In essence, the potential acquisition of Josh Sweat by the Baltimore Ravens represents more than just a personnel change. It's a strategic move that could redefine their defensive identity and elevate their championship aspirations. The combination of Sweat's elite pass-rushing ability, the Ravens' existing talent, and their innovative coaching staff could create a defense that's not only disruptive, but also resilient under pressure. This move, if executed, would serve as a statement to the rest of the league that Baltimore is serious about reclaiming its place at the top of the NFL hierarchy. It aligns perfectly with their historical philosophy, building around a dominant defense that can carry a team deep into the playoffs. It's a move that could tip the scales in the AFC North, making the Ravens a more complete, more dangerous team in 2024 and beyond. So, Ravens fans, the question remains, are you ready for this new era? Do you believe Sweat can be the piece that finally pushes Baltimore over the edge to a Super Bowl victory? Will this trade, if it happens, be the defining moment of the 2025 season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, share this analysis with your fellow fans, and stay tuned for more updates as this story unfolds. The league's landscape might be about to shift, and Baltimore could be at the forefront of that change. Remember, this is more than just news, it's a movement. The Ravens are poised to make some serious noise, and with your passion, support, and belief, the sky's the limit. Let's go Ravens!